So I'm gonna do like a what's in my school bag. I know last week I briefly alluded to the fact that, you know, I was starting a new term and asked if you guys were interested in any like school type content. And I think that this could be very applicable to work as well, because I take the same bag and basically the same things to work. So I'm gonna show you guys what's in my school bag. And I want to do, like in the next clip in this video though, I'm gonna do like a tech, like what tech I use. I actually just went to Apple to update my iPad because I haven't gotten an iPad, a new version of an iPad in probably like 6 years, 7 years. So finally got an upgrade. And yeah, let me show you what's inside and what I take. Actually, let me start with the bag. So this is the Longchamp bag, and this is the larger size, and it really fits like everything that I need, and it's sturdy. I normally carry a tote bag like on the daily, but with work and with school, I really want something that has a zipper. And I also have my little Labubu friend. I always have a friend on my bag, and he just matches perfectly. He also matches what I'm wearing. So always have a friend, and I really love the Longchamp bag. I know that it's like kind of basic and a lot of people have it, but it's very practical and it's very functional. I always have headphones with me, and I have like AirPods too, just for backup, but these I carry in my bag. And I always have a water bottle. This bottle, 100% influenced by Lauren Louise, big book lady who I adore with all of my heart. And it's this one, my emotional support bottle. And I got it from this brand called OK to Rest. I don't think they make it anymore, but I just love this because number one, it has a lid, so it's not gonna get contaminated with germs. I don't know how people do the Stanley open straw situation, like could not be me. But yeah, it's just unique, and I've never seen anyone else have this bottle, so I really like it. It's super cute. I carry a lot of snacks with me. I have these like little jellies that I really love that I always have like in my bag. And then these like Mama Chia squeezy snacks, like in case my blood sugar gets low and I need something sweet. I like these. And then these like rice taro sticks. I get them from H Mart, and it's like a crispy rice cracker, and on the inside there's this like taro custard, and they are so delicious. These are one of like my favorite snacks of all time. I think I'm gonna have one right now because it sounds really good. So one of the many jobs that I have is teaching. I tutor a lot of like AP high school students, like AP Bio, AP Physics, AP Calculus, AP Chem, like a lot of the STEM classes. And I always bring my students candy. So I always have a lot of like candy and snacks in my bag for them because, I don't know, it's just fun. It makes teaching fun, it makes tutoring fun, it makes learning fun when there's candy. I am the type of girl who has multiple bags within bags to keep things organized. So this is one of my multiple bags. And inside I have more snacks. I have trail mix, these Yum Earth sour candies. I have a granola bar, this dark chocolate coconut candy. I have a fruit strip, another taro stick. I have Advil, hand sanitizer. I try to avoid using this one. This is the pumpkin cupcake, but it's so good. And I know I won't get it until fall, so I use my other hand sanitizer. This is the best hand cream on the planet. I think it's $15 from Target. It's the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm 5. Perfect. I have this Rhode peptide balm. I love this color. It's like a mauve, like cocoa situation. These oil blotters that I got from Olive Young that work miracles. Red Blemish Dr. G. Candy from Easter. And my lip balm from Bully, I don't know, University Bully 1803, but I love this, and it works really well too, and it's just really cute and it feels chic. And I got mine in the espresso brown color because I love brown. It's like one of my favorite colors, which is why I always leave a little brown heart. Sometimes I get really thirsty and I really don't feel like drinking water, so I always carry these with me. They're the True Lemon Strawberry Lemonade, and it's just like lemon powder and some stevia, which I don't mind stevia. I actually really like stevia, but it just like makes your water, it gives it that je ne sais quoi, that like incentive to drink more. I also have a Clear Road lip balm in here, I guess a backup. This is like my old iPad, and I love this thing, but it's so small and it kind of just acts like a phone to me, so I upgraded to a bigger one. I always carry a book in my bag just in case, and then I have notebooks that I like, that I write with in class, and this is the Nemazine, I think that's how you say it. These are my favorite notebooks to use for studying and schoolwork and things like that. And then I always carry my journal with me just in case. It's very portable and it's pretty light. It's pretty light too, so this fits in my bag really nicely. And then I have my pencil case. This I got from McNally Jackson, and every so often they come out with them. They sell out super quick, but I love it. It's my favorite one. They have a lot of different colors, and I have like a few of these that I use. And I might do a flat lay to show you some of my favorite pens, but I can tell you that the Uniball Jetstream 4-in-1, this is like my favorite pen of all time. It never fails me. It's not very aesthetic, but it works so well. And this is like 0.38, which is my favorite size of pen. I also have this like chocolate brown claw clip that I really love from MEJ. Another lip gloss. Jesus, I don't even use this one. This is Summer Fridays, the vanilla one. I should use this. I've heard good things about this. And then I have, what else do I have in here? Oh, I have my Rode microphone in here for some reason. I'm not sure why. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I also have another pencil case that I have, like that I got from Amazon, and I have some like mild liner highlighters, and I love these two colors. They're like a purple and a taupe brown. I have my calculator, and I have these really cute little post-it notes, and some other like mild liner highlighters, more brown, and a MUBI pen. I also really love MUBI pens. And this is my MUBI 0.38 MUBI pen. Last thing is my Zoshirushi like food container, insulator thermos thing. I usually put like rice in here and tofu, or just like food that I want to take for lunch for that day. And Zoshirushi has like rice cookers. They make my rice cooker that I have at home, and I love their thermoses. They're really cute and they keep my food nice and warm. That's pretty much everything. As far as tech stuff, I'm gonna do that in another clip because I feel like that's kind of its own separate entity. Just like tech and chargers and things that might be really boring to some people and also really exciting for some people. I feel like you're one or the other. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Okay, so moving on to like the tech stuff, that's the what's in my bag part of my school bag. I have the iPad mini right now that I used for a while. But the problem is it was not really doing much of what I needed it to do because it's almost like a big iPhone, which is not really what I wanted for school. At least it was really difficult to write notes and do that sort of thing. So I upgraded for the first time in a very long time, like many years, and basically had to sell my soul and left ovary for the price of these items. But I think it will be worth it, and I think that it will be put to good use for school. So I went to Apple and got this new iPad. I got the iPad Air. I got the big one, the 13-inch, because I like to take up space on my iPad, and I wanted to, make use of the space. I like using Notability and GoodNotes. I like Notability because I can record lectures and kind of write on top of PowerPoints and things like that. But I know that like GoodNotes also has great application as well that a lot of people love. So I got this, and then I also got the Magic Keyboard that goes with the iPad. This was way overpriced. I'm just telling you that right now. Like, this was ridiculously so bad. Okay, so this is the iPad. I got it in the Starlight color, and I almost got the black one, but I don't know. I really liked the look of this, and I have it with the keyboard as well. So it looks like a case, but when you open it, you can put the iPad on top of it and then use this as the keyboard, and it has a trackpad. And I like that it also has the magnet on it. It just stands up like this, which I really like. And if I'm sitting in lecture, I can just take notes, have this here, have the keyboard here, and then when I'm done, it just like folds into a case like that. I will say that this keyboard is pretty heavy, which I don't like, because the whole point of having an iPad Air is kind of like for the lightness of it. I also want to say that I spoke to a lot of, and side note, you can also charge the iPad in this little port right here, which I really liked. They have other versions of keyboards, like they have a Logitech one and a few other ones that are also really expensive. And I felt like if I was going to spend the money, I wanted to spend it on something that I really liked and appreciated from the product. So that's why I went with this. What was I just saying right now? I lost my train of thought. That's what I was going to say. I went to a few different Apple stores. I like trolled Reddit. I went on TikTok. I kind of like did a lot of research as about what iPad that I should get. And every single person who I talked to said that if you are not doing like intense programming, video editing, things of that nature, you do not need an iPad Pro. It's just a complete waste of money for that purpose. And then the other thing too is with the iPad Air, the size really doesn't matter. It just depends on whether or not you want a lot of surface area or minimal surface area. And I wanted a lot, which is why I went with a 13-inch. With that said, those are my tech things. I will probably use my iPad mini for other things. The one thing that I was kind of like, I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. The one thing that I was kind of like peeved about is I had to get a whole new Apple Pencil, and those are really expensive too. It just feels like anytime you upgrade a product, you're not just getting the product. Like you have to get other things in addition to it, which is extremely annoying. I also have my MacBook Pro, but like I said, I only wanted to take one device to school, and I wanted it to be this. I didn't want to buy a whole new laptop. I'm not quite due for an upgrade with that. All this to say, with the schooling that I'm doing, the program that I'm doing, this will be put to good use. And I'm very excited about it. No regrets, but my wallet is very much crying. I'm also extremely late to this game, but I did also get an Apple Watch. I did get a really good price on this one, and I got the 10 series. I got the smaller like watch face. The issue is that I'm wearing this for very specific reasons and times throughout the day, but the problem is like I have bracelets on my wrist that I never take off, and I'm a righty, so it's like this just jumbles with everything. But I'm just getting used to it, and it's kind of a weird adjustment. It is very helpful, I will say. This watch is very helpful. It's just, it can also be annoying at times. So that's kind of like the tech haul that I have. A very expensive tech haul, but for good use. Over Mother's Day weekend, Doan had a Mother's Day sale. So there are several things that have been on my wish list for a really long time that went on sale on Mother's Day. So I treated myself and I got some goodies from Doan. The first of which is this top that I'm wearing that I've had on my wish list for a very long time. The sleeves have little ruffles, and I love black, lacy, gothic shirts that make me feel like a vampire living in a tower alone. Yeah, so I got this top, and I got a couple of other things that I want to show you. Okay, so I put my hair back behind me so you could see. This is the Leah top, and it has this little like velvet bow and the lace details. One thing to note about Doan is that their stuff is very see-through. It doesn't feel as functional as most brands, but like I think they have a lot of timeless pieces that just make you feel like you're living in a different era. I don't know. That's why I love Doan. But yeah, like I said, this is the Leah top, and they have like the lace on the sleeves. This is all very like sheer. Definitely, you need something under this. Let's put it that way. But I love the lace details here, and it's super easy to like snap and undo it, which I love. And this also looks good, kind of like, I feel like this looks good when it's not in a bow too. Like if you're not feeling like a bow vibe, you can just be simple. So let me show you the other shirt that I got. So this one is actually a dress. It's called the Adele dress, or the Adele dress. But I love, like, this feels very Victorian to me, and I love that the sleeves are like a little bit poofy. This part is velvet, and then it kind of has like a diagonal, the fabric changes right here, and the bottom half is silk, and it's like a fit and flare style dress, and it sits just above the knee. So it's like a short, it feels very youthful, but also kind of like gothic, very Victorian. Like I love this whole style and aesthetic, and yeah, I don't even know where I would wear this to, but I'm wearing it right now and it feels good, and I guess that's all that matters. Okay, I pulled my hair back for this one too. I am obsessed with this top. Like, I don't think you understand. It's also the most functional one, but the lowness of this cut is so beautiful to me. Like, I love it. Okay, so there's like lace, there's ivory lace right here, and there's also lace on the sleeve too, which I think is really pretty. But I feel like you could literally wear this anywhere, and it just feels like an elevated basic tee. I don't know. It's hard to find tops that have this like almost squarish neckline that's low cut like this. But yeah, I love it. I think this, like, most of this stuff was like 50% off. So I got this top for, I want to say 40 something bucks, which is better than like the astronomical price tag that was before it. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. I think this one and the first top that I tried are my two favorites. And I know I've talked about this before, but like when it comes to buying things over consumption, like I feel like this has to be said. I always make a wish list. Like, I have monthly wish lists, and I never buy anything on the spot. Very, very rarely do I buy things on the spot. So if something's on my wish list for months at a time, and then a sale like this comes across and it's like, it's Mother's Day, it's a sale, I like want to treat myself to something, like then I know that I'm not going to regret it the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that it's something that I've wanted, that I've had for a long time in the back of my mind. So I guess like that's my approach to shopping and buying things. And like obviously, like if you can get it secondhand, like eBay is such a great resource. Vestiaire, Depop, sometimes Poshmark can be a little weird. Mercari can be a little weird sometimes, but like Vestiaire and eBay, like I don't know. I feel like I'd rather brain rot on eBay than brain rot on TikTok. So with that said, if you're in a space where you are wanting to get something for yourself, make wish lists, look back at your wish list, pick things that really like speak to you, that you know that you're not going to regret the next day. If you can get it secondhand, do that. If not, save, and then when the time feels right, then do it. And don't let anybody make you feel bad for it, because like each person has their own story, their own situation, their own circumstances, and like, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I hope that you guys had a great Mother's Day last week. I think Mother's Day can be, same with Father's Day, like a very interesting, strange holiday, because I think mother-daughter relationships are so complicated and complex, and like I just want to hold space for people who might have not had the best day. So yeah. On a completely different note, I'm starting to read more literary fiction, a little bit of a reading update. I started this book called Hellions. I'm not finished with it. I'm about halfway through, and it's really good. It's a collection of, let me read this. It's a collection of stories that blend folklore, fairy tales, Southern Gothic, and horror, reveling in the collision of the familiar and the wildly surreal. This is basically a collection of horror stories, short horror stories, and it is very addictive. And I love being able to read stuff like this in the middle of spring. So far, highly recommend. I'm also listening to the audiobook of this, which is very well done from a narration standpoint and very entertaining if I'm working out, if I'm walking, or any of the above. I love literature like this. I love when horror is well done, and especially when it's done like through the lens of just like feral, ferocious like women. And this is just very well done. It's very entertaining, and it's such a nice like change of pace from a lot of the books that I usually read. So I love this. So I want to talk to you about some translated literature, which is one of my favorite corners of the reading world. I think that there's something really humbling about reading books that weren't originally written in English. I think it reminds you that language really isn't universal. There are words and expressions and even entire ways of thinking and thought process that just don't exist in our language, and that can be frustrating sometimes. I know that there are things that get lost and sentences that feel a bit slippery. You can feel the translator reaching and trying to get as close to you as possible to something that may not want to be translated at all sometimes. But I also think that that's what makes it so beautiful. Like, reading and translation is an act of trust, essentially. You're really trusting the author and the translator and your own ability to sit with the discomfort of not knowing, and it's worth it because these stories open up entire worlds. They remind you that your way of seeing isn't the only way, and honesty, right? In a time where everything feels flattened and algorithmic, reading something that came from a different language or a different rhythm or a different culture framework, it just feels like a necessary kind of expansion. So I want to share some of my favorite translated books, the ones that really moved me and challenged me or just stayed with me for a long time after I finished. This was the first book that I read this year, and this is No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. This is basically a man who performs normalcy while quietly unraveling. It's about alienation, performance, and the kind of sadness that doesn't want to be healed. Dazai in this book does not ask for sympathy. He just really tells the truth of his whole mental state. Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto is one of my favorite books of all time. The book is about a girl who loses her last family member and moves in with strangers. It's about grief and gender and food as survival. It's soft, it's strange, kind of like staying up too late and feeling comforted for the first time in days. If you like food, if you love Japanese literature, you will love this book. The Door by Magda Szabo is about a writer who hires a housekeeper, and their relationship becomes obsessive and mythic and heartbreaking. It's about power and devotion and the mystery of other people. You never really know who's in control in this book, but I absolutely devoured this and loved it. Beware of Pity by Stephen Zweig, and this is about a young soldier who gets caught in an emotionally tangled relationship with a paralyzed woman, and he basically convinces himself that it's compassion when it's really guilt. And this novel is about moral failure, emotional obligation, and really like the quiet tragedy of doing harm while trying to do good. And I think Zweig writes internal conflict better than almost anyone. It's just very elegant and very well written, and tense and just quietly devastating. The Piano Teacher by Alfred Jelinek. This is about a repressed woman who lives with her abusive mother and spirals into a very sadomasochistic relationship. It's very cold and it's erotic and disturbing. And it's interesting. There's a film adaptation about this as well. It's really about shame, violence, and the ways that we try to reclaim ourselves through destruction. The Passion, According to G.H. by Clarice Lispector, is about a woman who sees something unsettling in a maid's room and begins to unravel and spiral. And this is more spiritual than narrative. It's about ego and God and really the fear of dissolving. I think Clarice Lispector is one of my favorite authors of all time, and she just writes like she's on fire. All of her writing is stunning. So Breasts and Eggs and also Heaven by Mieko Kawakami are incredible Japanese books, but Heaven specifically is about two bullied teenagers, and they form a quiet bond, but the book really does a good job at resisting sentimentally. It asks very difficult questions of the reader about suffering and what it means to be human and endure painful experiences. It's honest and it's quietly brutal, but it will really shift your perspective. Breasts and Eggs are about three women navigating body image, right? It's about class and fertility in modern Japan. And Kawakami writes about womanhood as something like more physical and philosophical. I loved this book a lot, and I actually listened to the audiobook of this as well, but it just feels like walking through someone's actual experience in their life. I don't have this book on me, but The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Agawa is about a professor with a, he has short-term memory loss, and he forms this very gentle bond with his housekeeper, but it's about math and memory and finding meaning in the smaller moments of life. It's quiet and simple and just very moving. Okay, next we have The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa, and this is a book that is basically a diary of a man who barely lives and survives. He just thinks and dreams and observes, and it's all fragments of thought. It's all mood and vibe. And if you've ever felt like you're living beside yourself, almost like out of body, I feel like this one is for you. It really sits with you and makes you think for a long time about your life, and just it's very existential. Okay, Notes of a Crocodile is another incredible book. This is set in a queer university. I also really liked The Last Words from Montmartre as well, but I think this one was my favorite. It's about students in Taipei who basically like document, the main character documents her inner world, and it's about obsession and shame and just living the queer experience. It's very messy and painful and sharp, and nothing about it is neat, which is what makes it feel so real as a reader. The next one that I'm going to talk to you about is something that I read recently, which is The Days of Abandonment by Elena Ferrante. And this is basically about a woman whose husband leaves, and she just unravels and spirals out of control completely. It's about rage and grief and motherhood and the rawness of falling apart without anyone trying to stop you. I don't know, I haven't really read any of her other books, but I really love this one. The Vegetarian by Han King is about a woman who stops eating meat after a dream, and everyone tries to control her, and it's about the body as protest, and what happens when you quietly refuse to be who the world demands of you. Also, White Nights by Dostoevsky, which I could not find for some reason, but this is about a lonely man who falls in love with a woman over 4 nights, and it's soft and aching. It's about fantasy and disappointment, unrequited love, and just, loving someone who was never really yours to begin with. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead is quite a wild read. It's very eccentric, and it's perfect, I think, for wintertime especially. But it's really about a woman who suspects that men in her village are being killed off in astrological order. It's strange and philosophical and quietly furious. It's part mystery, part manifesto, but it's very engaging, and it kind of sucks you in, and it's quite an addictive read. Territory of Light by Yuko Tsushima is about a recently separated mother who navigates life with her daughter in a sunlit apartment. It's told in these like monthly vignettes, and it's about solitude and instability and the quiet work of rebuilding a life after a tragedy. The Melancholy of Resistance is another book that I don't have. I think I did an ebook read of this one, but it's basically about a circus that arrives in a crumbling town, and everything begins to rot. It's dense and apocalyptic and eerily timely. It's about fear and surrender and what happens when language stops holding things together. Last one that I want to mention is Schoolgirl by Dazai, and this really just highlights the girlhood experience. It is so well written, and it will definitely make you feel seen and understood living as a girl in this world.